Hi everyone, welcome to this session where I have with me Rohan David, who has successfully and very easily cleared NMAT and gone through the next round of process and secured selection to NMIMS Mumbai. So what we'll do is we'll discuss the preparation points for NMAT, get to know more about the examination. How did he prepare for this, and what are the key takeaways for people who are going to attempt NMAT in future? So before all that, let me welcome Rohan for this session, and hearty congratulations. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for the intro. Thank you.
So all set to move to Mumbai?
Yes, sir.
Change from the corporate back to school?
Yes. It's like a total shift. Yeah. Can't wait for the new phase.
Okay. So let us discuss a few things about the NMAT exam. When did you start preparing for NMAT? Because generally the focus is on CAT as people start preparing. So when was the sudden focus on NMAT?
Yeah, so since NMAT generally has a 75-day testing window, so it starts from the first week, the second week of October and goes all the way till the fourth week of December. So I scheduled my NMAT exam on in the third week of October. So as sir said, like generally the focus is on CAT. Even I prepared for CAT, and by the time I had all my concepts and topics in place. So NMAT was just like I was pretty much comfortable. So except for the NMAT specific topic. So I gave around 15 to 16 days to tackle the NMAT specific topics. So I even took 5 to 6 mocks to get used to the pattern.
That's very good, because NMAT is an exam which allows students 2 more retakes, right? And I've seen number of students make this mistake of not preparing well for the first round, and then they take NMAT and then they understand what the exam is, and then they go for the next one. So you did well. I mean, taking a lot of mocks and preparing specifically for NMAT.
Yes, sir. So I think from the last year onwards, I think a year back, even NMIMS even allowed 3 takes actually. So in general, a person could take 3 takes and the best score would be considered. So from the last year onwards, they just considered the best attempt, and that would be a first attempt. So like one had to be sure and thorough to crack it in the first try. So I decided to go ahead with mocks, because this would be the attempt that would really count. So even if you better your score in the next attempt, it wouldn't make any difference. Yeah.
But NMAT and CAT are different in many ways. I mean, for a start, for example, in CAT, you get this online calculator, whereas in NMAT, you don't have that facility, and all the calculation has to be done in your mind. So how did you start with those kind of changes?
So the thing is, like, even as you said, so there's no calculator and everything. So first of all, the only way to get used to it is by taking mocks. Like, so first of all, I think the QA section, the QS section, the quantitative skills section is generally more tougher than the other sections. So there's a time crunch. So you need to solve around 36 questions in 52 minutes. So the best way to go about it is like doing mocks, and as you said, since there's no calculator and there are DI intensive questions, so you need to focus on speed maths. You need to get your percentages right, how to multiply, divide quickly. So you need to practice on speed maths, and then you need to take mocks. Then you would get a hang of it, I think. So yeah.
Now, there are a lot of other things unique to NMAT, which makes test-taking strategy extremely important. For example, you can decide on the sequence of sections, correct? So you decide. I mean, so how did you decide on the sequence?
So NMAT has 3 sections: the quantitative skills, the logical reasoning, and the language skills. So it's been 2 years since NMAT has transitioned into the adaptive format. So it makes this exam a bit friendly for the ones who are seriously preparing for the MBA exams. So, but among the sections, quantitative skills is the hardest one. So I decided to go ahead with quantitative skills first, followed by logical reasoning, and then followed by language skills. So like I needed a clear mind, like so solving 36 questions in 52 minutes. It is a bit of a challenge, although like around 20 or 22 questions would be a bit challenging. So I needed to be clear and calm. So I decided to go ahead with that first, then followed by LR, where LR has 2 parts. There's the analytical reasoning and the critical reasoning. So even the critical reasoning also requires you to be focused. So I decided to go ahead with that after QS. and then followed by language skills, where it is pretty much easy. So if you prepare well for the VARC section, the language skills is a very easy part. So you just need to focus on synonyms, antonyms, and all. So my order was once again it was QS followed by LR and then the language skills section.
You mentioned critical reasoning, which is something again unique to NMAT. Unique in the sense that it's there for some of the other exams like XAT, for example, or IIFT, but it's not there for CAT. So did you put a lot of focus on that?
Yes, sir. I really put a lot of focus on that. At least 50% of the weightage in logical reasoning was from critical reasoning. So some students, even out of 36 questions in LR, since questions are equally divided across sections, with 36 in each, so around 20 or even 18 plus, close to 20 questions were from CR. So one needed to get a hang of it, like, because the analytical reasoning part is pretty easy. So topics like circular arrangement, linear arrangement, selections, and all seem to be easy. So you needed to really focus on critical reasoning, because if you ace that, then the logical reasoning section would go well for you.
Normally, when we take an exam, you then tend to go for the topics or questions which are from topics you are more comfortable with. But in NMAT, you don't have that facility, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
There's no going back to the previous question. You cannot go back and review a question which you have not done. If you are in, say, question number 7, you cannot then skip and go to question number 10. So you have to tackle the question in front of you. So what are the strategies for NMAT? Again, one more thing for the listeners is that NMAT doesn't have negative marking, but then that doesn't make the exam any easier, isn't it? So what are the strategies?
Yes, sir. So as you said, like, since it doesn't have any negative marking, and with the added point that we would not be able to revisit the question, so the best way is to make sure that you cover everything in QA. So although QA and all the sections, so generally since quantitative skills is the hardest, so you have to make sure that you do not leave any topic out. And like, although the questions are of moderate difficulty, there will be some questions that would be a bit more harder. So the best thing is to have an idea, and you should be clear with everything. So you should be clear with all the topics in all the sections. So because you wouldn't get a chance to revisit. And even if you guess, it's wise to do 3 to 4 guesses per section. If you do more than that, it will really cost your score and your sectional cutoffs. So you need to make sure that you go through everything. So you don't have the luxury to choose your set of topics compared to CAT and ZAT, where when accuracy and your proficiency in a topic actually plays dividends.
Isn't there a time pressure? The time limit is there and you need to complete all the questions. So how do you handle that?
Certainly, there's a time pressure. So the thing is, the only way to get used to this time pressure is through taking mocks. So I took around 6 mocks. So you will initially feel the time pressure, because the quantitative section is quite hard to even get 36 questions. Even if you solve 28 correctly, I think you would have a decent sectional score. So yes, taking mocks would be the best way to go forward. And then you need to also have a calm mind. So I think we can all do it despite having invested a lot of time in preparing. So by this time, all of them would be comfortable with the topic. So you just need to have a clarity of thought and just need to be calm. Even if you just get 10 step or something, then this exam would really be a problem, because it keeps on piling. This effect keeps on piling. Suppose 1 or 2, 3 questions, and then you wouldn't be in a mental, you'd be looking at the clock. It's better not to look at the clock all the time. So so just be cool, and one would be able to do well. So just need to take mocks, and then you would get an idea how many questions you would be able to solve. So you could make some educated guesses.
Okay. Since you mentioned about reasoning and also the fact that verbal is generally easy, let's focus a bit on quantitative section. So there's a lot of focus on arithmetic. What kind of range of questions did you face?
Yes, sir. So since NMAT nearly covers a lot of topics, the surprising part about the quantitative skills section in NMAT is that there haven't been questions from geometry. At max, there will be only 1 question, which will be pretty much direct. So the focus should be on arithmetic as usual. So arithmetic, since it's easier among the sections, so it will be easier to score. And surprisingly, NMAT has a bit of focus into modern maths. So probability and permutation and combination. So the sections which generally most aspirants dread, it is something which is of great importance in this exam. And apart from the general QA topics, there's also DI in the quantitative skills section. So one would generally get 3 to 4 sets of DI. Each set would have 4 questions each. So 12 to 16 questions. So 16 plus the set of questions in probability and PNC. So these are the questions that are generally a bit more harder compared to the other questions out of the remaining 36 questions. So if you focus on this, if you're able to do these questions comfortably well, there's no doubt that one would comfortably clear the sectional cutoff, because many fail to clear the sectional cutoff in quantitative skills. It's mainly because of the DI. So it's like sometimes you would be only able to solve 2 out of 4 sets. So I would say at least solve 3. And then you could make some guesses in the 4th set.
Since you mentioned sectional cutoffs, which was my next question, you beat me to it. Sectional cutoffs for NMAT, and that too when you are targeting NMIMS Mumbai, makes it that much more very important. So what are the preparation strategies keeping the cutoffs in mind?
First of all, you need to have an idea. So since the exam is adaptive, so this if it's for a student who hasn't prepared well, he wouldn't feel the level of difficulty increasing. So the thing about NMAT is unless if you are given a sufficient amount of preparation, you wouldn't be knowing where you stand actually. So sometimes you would get a set of easy questions, sometimes it would be moderate, and then it would be mostly hovering around the moderate level. So the thing is around 36 questions, the rough target one should have in clearing the sectional cutoffs is at least solve 26 right, 26 to 27 right. So it's very hard to solve all 36 and even getting all of them right. So around 25, from 25 onwards, you should make sure that you at least get 25 questions right. So that will make sure you would be sailing through the cutoffs.
Don't be surprised that Rohan has all these numbers in place, because I remember calling you a couple of days before NMAT and asking you is there anything left? Is there something that I can do with your critical reasoning, for example? And you said everything is under control, and you sounded very, very confident. And the fact that you're very focused on the preparation, you took a lot of mocks, and you understood the pattern, and you understood how to approach the questions in the given time, cover the maximum number of questions and all that. That really showed.
Yes, sir. That's
very well done. And when we move on to the next round, which is the VAT and PI, how was it for you?
Yes, sir. So after the interview call letter, so it's a 2-stage process. So it has the WAT and the PI. So the WAT was a case-based WAT. So generally, NMIMS has a case-based WAT. So the time limit for WAT is 20 minutes, and you have a word limit of 300 words. So since it's case-based, it's always very important to have an idea about the current affairs. So what's currently happening, and also you should have an idea about the trending topics, so even innovative topics, examples such as the implications of AI and ML, the new technologies such as NFT, blockchains. I think I was asked, my what topic was about ML. It was ML based. So it's always important, because since it's a case based, you can actually structure your thoughts. So more than focusing on current affairs, which is definitely important. So one should have an idea about the new and the trending topics. So if you are able to do that, then what would be pretty much easy. And then comes the PA. So my PA lasted around 15 to 20 minutes. So the key about NMIMS is that even though it places a huge weightage in your NMAT scores, around 70%, I think around 20 to 25 is accounted for WAT and PI. So if you're able to really ace that section, so generally people have the feeling that, oh, my NMAT score is low, I just cleared the cutoff. But there have been many instances where people, despite just clearing the section and overall cutoffs, do convert, and even people with high scores fail to convert. So the key is acing the WAT and PI. So coming to my PI, so my PI revolved mostly around my undergraduate subjects. So since I was an industrial engineer, so which was a bit different. So the stream is a bit different compared to other streams. Most of the topics revolved around my undergraduate subjects, followed by some questions on workix and current affairs. And also one should be thorough about the state-based questions. So since if you're coming from all are coming from different states, one should be thorough about what's happening in your state. So the thing I would like to add is for people with up to 2 years of workx, it's always essential to at least have a fair idea about 1 to 2 undergrad subjects, because apart from your work ex, which everyone would be able to say properly, so people fail to brush up on this. So this is where they test you, apart from the current affairs. So if you're able to do that very well, then I think your interview would be fine. So if you're able to ace your WOT and PI, I think you're pretty much in, like, so you just need to be sharp and yeah.
You make it sound very easy, but look at the comprehensive coverage of topics you mentioned just now for PI. So that has to be done, and that is the way to do it. And you did it, and did it successfully and very well. So hearty congratulations again, Rohan, and
thank you, sir.
Best wishes as you embark on your MBA program. I'm sure that you will make the best out of the 2 years at NMIMS Mumbai and come out as one of the best all-round students out there.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the wishes, sir. Anyway, sir, even your tips help, like even for the interview. I even asked you and consulted you, it really paid dividends, like even the focus on state-based questions and even ACATs, the pointers that you gave. So even I wasn't that sharp when it came to my PI preparation. So anyway, thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for your contribution.
Your successful journey, and
sure,
keep flying high, and keep in touch. And
okay, sir. Well. Thanks a lot. Okay then. Yeah. Bye, sir. Bye.